Other than that, today I want to talk to you about under cabinet lighting. So this is a great example of a kitchen right here. As you can see, we put all this in. She had the old school 4-foot, 2-foot T8, T12 looking fluorescent lamps that were mounted, just put right on top, and she had them mounted underneath. The hardest part about this was to get the lighting all the way through it, and we actually were able to do that, and we did it on a switch, because all these zones 1, 2, 3, 4, they were already pre-wired in the wall, so we can do that on a switch. We did need to put outlets in up above, and that's how we did that, to plug in our transformer. Now, the other side of it was this side over here was actually just an outlet with no switch. So we relied upon Julie's remote, which is right here. I keep taking this from her. So right here is a remote. And so there's a little eyeball up here, very tiny, very minute. Same company, just this one has a switching system that's done off of the remote. And this one was done off of an RF. And the one issue we had, just to give you an idea, the RF is a little module inside of there that they were actually using right after the backside of the transformer. And that RF was not communicating clearly with this zone, and this zone. So this is all one zone that we went through the cabinet, and these are two different kits right here. And all three kits were freaking out. So we would literally hit that color, and that would go green. This would go red, that would go blue. And then sometimes it would start to flash. So thank God we had the wires in the wall already pre-switched from the past, and we just adjusted that with outlets, plugged it in. We kept it the same color because this is the color that she wanted. But if you're looking for different colors, just to give you a heads up, the little RFs are not that great. I think they need some work on the technology. And again, I'm not trying to criticize any big box stores online such as Amazon or eBay, but if you're getting parts online, please be aware that not everything works so perfect. So if you got to get that in the wall and check it, you have that 30-day mark by the time, otherwise you can't really return things. So even with Home Depot or Lowe's or the big box stores, when you're getting your parts, make sure those things are working immediately when you get them out of the box, plug them in, see that they're working right. You can use just 3 outlets in your wall, just in your dining room or living room, to see if that RF is going to communicate. But as you can see, the RF modules right up here, they're going to be right next to each other. And so they were miscommunicating with each other. I could not get, though they came each with their own remote, I could not get them to set. I had to unplug and set, unplug, set, unplug, set. This was no different than a customer who went and got, I think it was Casablanca or one of the other ceiling fan companies, I'm not exact sure, but they bought them that were already pre-manufactured with the RF module inside of the unit. And all we had to do was hook it up. We didn't have to put it in up above the module and then do the dip switch with the remote. And when these were set, we actually had all 4 rooms going on and off at the exact same time. So we had to go through, call the company, and I think it was actually Minka Air, but anyways, we had to call the company and figure out how to disload or de-energize each circuit and then put each fan on as we program each one at a separate time. So the bottom line is that the module, the ceiling fans never came in the instructions with that issue. So the RF, then when they went away with the dip switch, that's what caused the problem. So it's kind of the same concept that this remote right here is almost like a dip switch. Though these both work on the same remote, it still is communicating different than your RF because you have an infrared eye. So in my professional opinion of doing this 19 years, I think your infrared eye is still your best bet on your LED tape light. Other than that, the other thing I want to talk to you about today was the lumens. Look how poor this can look. To some people, this is bright enough. To other kitchens, it's not. Now, this is also right now in the dead daylight. So the noon sun is still coming through. It's starting to wash the lighting at night. It'll look a little brighter. But the thing that you got to keep in mind is if someone's truly looking for task lighting, there are 4 types of lights in a kitchen. There's going to be your LED tape, which is more of a mood. Then you're going to have your task lighting that could be an under cabinet light, a halogen or an LED. And then you're going to have can lighting, which is definitely your task lighting for cleaning and cooking. But then you also have your pendants right here that are just going to be for, a festive time or just cooking as well, and then you can dim those. So in Julie's kitchen here, she really never had, she only had 2 out of 4. But her fluorescents were bright enough when they were working. But the problem with the fluorescents is that those little bulbs burn out really bad. And as if you've noticed going to the big box stores, you're not able to find the 2-foot T12s anymore. They're very, very hard to find. And then you got to get that little push twist starter inside of the fluorescent. Plus the ballast then burn out, and you have the tombstones break after time. So you have all these parts in there just for one light. So what we decided to do is we came in here and we lucked out because this was all switched. But we came in here, and I like these lights right here. I got them online. They do have a swivel head. They are an LED, and they have a 2-position switch and a single for dim and bright. And so she can come in and turn them on and off as she needs. Yeah, it's a little bit of a frustration that you'd have to go through and do that yourself to turn them on. But Julie doesn't really care. She says, hey, as long as I'm in that area and I'm working, I can turn them on high and I'll figure that out. As you can see, I wanted you to see the difference of the top versus the bottom. This is truly a task light. This is coming this way. The lumens on this light is going to be closer probably to about 600 lumens. They're very, very white light. It's got a little bit of a warm tint, but it would probably be in the 3000 Kelvin would be my guess. As we turn this off, they can all turn off together. We're turning, and so just so you know, these are hardwired. These are a 110 light, and the LED kit up above is a 12-volt light on the same switch. Now, we cannot dim the switch, otherwise we'll blow out our transformers up there. And you don't really need the dim because she has it on and off here anyways. But again, she only, when she needs it, she'll turn this on and off. Now, if I were to try to wire this with 2 separate switches and the kitchen was open, then yes, I would want to have my task lighting circuits all on one outlet that would be in the wall, plugged in all the way around, or hardwired in, and then the other outlet with a separate switch leg, could be the same circuit though, would be the LED lighting in here. Now I'll show you real quick with the video what the light was that we put on. Okay, so this is just this task light right here, the swivelable head, on-off switch, 110 wired. We came through the cabinet and down, and then they plug into each other. They give you a very short cord, so tricky. You have to order a little bit more lights than you think you do, and then you fit that in, and then we had our box back here. This was an original splice that was not even spliced. It's spliced outside of the wall, so we just wanted to kind of box that. It is hidden, but so again, these task lights do a really good job being pivotal, getting the light that she needs. They are LED. They have a glass, very nice metal feel to them. And then up above with our tape light, I'll show you this. So here's the outlet that we turned into from just a normal 14-2 Romex wire, turned into an outlet. Then we plug that in, and then here's your transformers. I've had some issues with these transformers blowing out. Hasn't been that easy to deal with. I will save face for the company, but I'm not going to be buying from them anymore. It's been an issue for me. So anyways, here is kind of the layout of your tape lighting all the way across. Some of it won't stick too well over time. There's really not much you can do about that. But again, the purpose up here was to just illuminate around and just give it a glow. So sometimes you can lay it out up there, but that's kind of how it turned out. So anyways, guys, so yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.